Oh, welcome to Shoptoberfest. Brought to you by who, Brent?
Shopware.
Fresh. Scott Ohsman was always off brand, and
Brent Peterson, Talk Commerce.
And I always say the and.
And what?
I don't know. I feel the need to say the and.
Just met.
God, unbelievable. We have some fantastic guests here at the beer hall, which I just want to note. Just the documentation. Does anybody have any beer? No.
No, not
Let me
yet.
answer that.
Not yet.
There's no beer at the beer hall.
Soon, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure. Brent, why don't you introduce our
Chris
great
and
guests?
Carrie from Aysnd. Why don't you guys tell us your day-to-day roles and.
Yeah, so Carrie Weidenbach, co-founder of Aysnd. We are a brand new e-commerce agency. We launched last October, but myself and my co-founder, Mickey Winter, have a deep legacy in e-commerce. I was formerly the COO at an agency called Classy Llama and vice president of programs at Something Digital for many years. So I have launched over 100 different stores, seen a lot in my years in agency life, and happy to be here today, Brent. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
As an agency person, we should have some therapy later. Agency life is tough.
Agency life is tough, and I have gone through quite a bit of therapy. and maybe drank a lot of beer.
Hi, Chris Harrison, Vice President of E-commerce Strategy for Aysnd. I joined Aysnd recently. I'm making a bit of a change, and I'll kind of explain my background. I worked with some of the largest companies in technology, Accenture and Capgemini. I've been doing e-commerce for a long time. I don't like to date myself, but
either do Brent and
I've been in e-commerce so long that one of my first clients politely declined my proposal and said, "Thanks, Chris, but we don't think people are going to buy things on the internet." So
I'm with you.
Early days.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Scott still doesn't buy things on the internet.
I know. I don't trust them. I'm not giving my credit card to anybody.
So I'm making a bit of an adjustment and happy to join Aysnd as VP of Commerce Strategy. And really the reason I made the adjustment is while I've enjoyed the work I've done in e-commerce, I've saved companies millions of dollars. I've helped companies generate billions of dollars. I wanted to find some place where I could really contribute to a purpose that was really making a difference. And that's the focus that Carrie and Mickey have founded Aysnd with. And so I'm really excited to be a part of that.
Thank you, Chris. We're happy to have you on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're at Shopware. Shoptoberfest.
Shoptoberfest.
That's what brings you folks here.
So when we were evaluating platforms that we wanted to work with, we did extensive research and found Shopware and found a lot that we love about this platform. We love that it was completely rebuilt recently, very intentionally, very thoughtfully. We like the open API, the composability of it, the flexibility that it brings. With so many of our B2B and complex regulated clients, these are important features that you need to be able to adapt and change, and Shopware brings that. We love the open nature of it, another important thing, and the company is just fantastic. They're really strong and good people.
I know Kurt. I know the whole Classy Llama team. So did some of the roots of where that came from help you with Aysnd?
I mean,
open source roots.
The open source roots of Classy Llama, right? We did a lot of open source at Classy with Kurt and Rob and Eric and the whole team there. They also have a strong moral compass similar to what we have at Aysnd. And so, yeah, it was definitely groundwork for this agency.
What have you seen as the challenges for what some of the, let's just call it the controlled businesses? What do you see some of those challenges now coming into what you're doing now as Aysnd?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier before we started talking, I spent about 5 years when I was working at Something Digital, working with AB InBev and their digital sales transformation. They wanted to move all sales online, And so we worked with them to build essentially a B2B online product that they could take country by country for all of their B2B sales. So if you own a corner store, a bodega, a restaurant, a bar, and you need to buy your kegs or your cases, now you do that online through a website or through an app. So we did 19 countries in 4 years, and each country has very different laws and regulations about selling alcohol. How you sell alcohol in the United States is completely different than how you sell alcohol in South Africa or Argentina. Not only are there different products, different pricing, different state regulations about what you can and cannot do with those alcohol sales. And so my experience with that really led me towards Shopware, because AB InBev did this all custom in-house. And if they had done it with a platform like Shopware, I think it would have reduced about 50% of their costs.
And improve their reliability and
I'm
had all
exhausted hearing about this. This is exhausting, and I feel broke. What you're doing with those countries, with trying to navigate this, and just doing any regulatory anything commerce in Europe is a complete pain in the ass. Like, this is unbelievable, and you know how to do that? That's insane. That's so cool.
You have
See,
to,
I told you I
you
had
have
nothing to
to
this
do-
podcast.
You have to ask a lot of questions and do a lot of investigation. And oh, by the way, each country has a different ERP system that you have to integrate into, because how AB InBev works is they went out and bought pre-existing breweries, very old legacy breweries, and combined them globally. So each of those individual breweries has different systems.
Yeah, it's crazy. Our client, we had the client Presidente beer for a while. And
Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I also did Dominican Republic. So.
Right. Yeah, and they were on Magento at the time, and they definitely struggled with scalability. This is 10 years ago. But,
And by the way, AB InBev was also on Magento when we started the project. We did about 2 years of working with Magento and customized it so much. And AB InBev was so incredibly frustrated by the cost of the licensing, the rev share that Adobe wanted to take. They wouldn't pay it, and they ripped it out. And so
That's one way to fix
they're
it.
big enough to do that.
That's one way to fix it.
another plug
Just-
for Shopware is Shopware doesn't charge a rev share.
Hey, now.
So if you're a
I gotta
large
get my bells going. I gotta get all my sound effects going. Go ahead. Yeah.
Shopware does not charge a rev share.
See, that's worthy of a bell.
Yeah.
Actually, that's worthy of more. I'm not a rev share person. I'm not a percentage of spend person. I think they.
Well, here's the thing:
Contaminate
if you're
incentives.
selling B2B, right, your margins are completely different
Yes.
than D2C. And these are pre-existing sales. You're not finding your customers necessarily from PPC. They're long-term relationships. And so why should you give up that much of your rev share to your software licensing company? You shouldn't, in my opinion.
I mean, the irony was that before Adobe purchased Magento, it was a flat price for the licensing, and they went to the rev share model. And I think that Shopware has a brilliant plan for making this flat model. It makes it much less than the other SaaS platforms out there, especially in the B2B market.
Yeah, exactly. At Aysnd, our purpose is really to grow small to medium businesses to make an impact and how they sell. And the last thing we want them to do is have to pay extra money for licensing.
Go ahead, Brent.
No,
I have nothing. I gave my big pitch right there. Go ahead.
So Chris, what are the things that you've seen as you learned and you're getting into this new? Because it sounds like you were in the more of the enterprise space and the small to medium. Is that something new that you're experiencing now?
Well, the interesting thing about the enterprise space, if you look at the biggest players, they all bought and acquired, like you talked about, right? Magento was acquired by Adobe, right? Hybris was acquired by SAP, right? Demandware was acquired by Salesforce, right? And so a lot of the innovation comes from those smaller, nimble partners that get acquired. And Shopware seems a lot like that. They seem a lot like they've developed a very solid product with a really productive technology stack, a very efficient technology stack. And I mean, whether they get acquired or something, that's a whole other conversation. But they remind me a lot.
Breaking news? Does he know something?
But they remind me a lot of those early days of those other platforms where they were very customer focused in terms of, we know not everybody's selling just hats and t-shirts, and you're going to need things that you have to customize because that's what makes your business successful, right? If you talk to any B2B client, right, they have things that make their business unique, and they have to be built into their commerce platform and their purchase process.
Yeah, and one of our previous guests just said that B2B doesn't exist, right, Scott?
He did. He said that. That's a little brain teaser for me. It's a little early. I now have coffee, but I got to think about that. But I came from the retail manufacturing side, which is the wholesale B2B, right? All these retailers. We had, again, I'm in the Northwest, so we had 300-400 specialty independent retailers. But every brand, it's the customization is what triggered me. The amount of finite detail of customization of how they can buy it, how they buy that, if they're buying beer, if they're buying whatever they're buying, that's the beauty of the table. If you bang on the table.
That was a very large beer stein being set down for those that couldn't see that.
Sure.
Imagine how large that beer stein was.
You know what? It did prove that we're at a beer hall because the listener really doesn't know. We could be at a Starbucks right now and they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
My point is the customization is insane. Like, and having systems and right? You want to just get the order. You're not remarketing to them or something. I mean, you can, but it's not right. If I've got an intrinsic wholesale business, right, I just got to get my order in, man. I got to get my order in, and I need to know it's coming.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I worked with a client that was so unique. They didn't have pictures on their website because the pictures actually, all of the specifications, it was a aerospace materials site. And all the specifications mattered a lot more than any pictures, and so they're like, "No, we don't need pictures."
I mean, we were talking about how seasoned we all are. I mean, I used to take orders on paper, on 3-ply paper orders. I loved it because there's something tactile about it, right? I love that in triplicate, exactly.
Yeah. Carbon copy.
Here's yours, here's mine. Yeah, it's a $1,200 order.
That's so funny that you say that. My very first job out of college, I actually sold carbon copy forms to hospitals. And
somebody still uses them.
Least favorite job ever.
So
it's how I got into technology. Like, this is ridiculous. And honestly, I was at a health conference in Miami a few months ago, and people were still taking paper orders. And I said, well, then what do you do after that? And they said, we got to go back and key it in. And then we got to
key it in.
And then, if you can't read the handwriting, and I said, you need to be here on an iPad taking orders at this show. This is insane in 2025. Exactly. So
I know this show's about me, isn't it?
It's all about Scott.
Yeah. So then, as in the rep world, you can probably all relate with this, right? Then they're like, hey, we got this cool new software that you guys need to use, okay? So not only do you take the paper order, we did fax it in. Or I would literally, in a manila envelope, would send it to customer service and they would key it in. No, you guys have to key it in. There was just an outrage by the rep force. We're not keying inside.
Right.
It's just, you think about that now, it's just ludicrous.
Right.
What are we doing?
And so Shopware has this digital sales room. Have you guys seen this?
Oh my God, really?
Where
is it here? Isn't that Shoptoberfest?
It's in a beer hall. Yeah.
Where you're on a video call with your customers, looking at the cart. You have separate views from them. You're putting the order together while you're on the call in the system together. There's no keying in anything. You're actually spending your time selling, not spending your time keying in orders.
There you
and
go.
Shopware.
See, there you go. That's a hallelujah. I love that. Because it's how fast can I get the money, right?
Show me the money.
How fast can I get the money?
Well, and build the relationship, right?
Yes.
That gives you
Spend
the
your
opportunity to
time
build a customer
building
relationship. And that's what salespeople should be doing.
Yes.
It should be.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to sit with your AI agent and have them help you shop yet.
There's some conversation about that.
Yeah.
You've seen the latest offerings from Shopware about agentic commerce,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
I mean, that's whether we like it or not, it's clearly here and going to get
Yeah.
bigger.
It's coming. It's not here. I don't think anybody's using it. Do you know anybody using Agentic yet?
I have not done it personally.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I was just at eTail and I asked the audience, and
Yeah.
there's maybe 150 people in the audience, and not one person rose their hand
In terms of using agents for
for using Agentic.
okay.
Agentic
Agentic
comments
AI.
to buy on your behalf.
Right. Yeah,
Now-
I think agents are something that's been around for a while.
Now, so we met this guy who's building an AI voice customer service, like it's replacing the chat bot.
Mhm.
Okay, Masa. Now that I can see, right? If you can control it as far as even from a B2B where the retailer's calling in to check on an order or whatever, instead of going through some stupid menu and having to deal with this crap, I can see that there's some application. It was so real, it freaked me
And
out.
I think Agentic is going to be in B2B way before B2C.
Right.
You
Agreed.
Makes
think it
way
is?
much. Yeah, it makes a
Yeah,
lot
it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm just waking up.
I think there's so much you can do to train the bots about the specialties, the customizations of your product, especially in that B2B space. I recently talked to a company, ABT Electronics, where they spent an enormous amount of time training their bot to know what all their salespeople know in their storeroom. They have the largest electronics storeroom in the United States. They train this bot to do recommendations on electronics, to do comparison, to answer questions. And they're saying they've increased their sales over $1 million monthly by this bot.
See, yes, I think there's a place for it. I'm not in denial
Yeah.
still, but I mean, it's coming, right? And yeah, that's interesting. B2B, it'll be in B2B.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. Chris, what do you envision?
I think I agree. B2B is going to lead, but I think you're going to see it in B2C as well. It'll probably be a follower. But the use of the GPTs has just been growing by leaps and bounds, and the way people are using them and moving to problem solving and answers versus search, right? And I think that's going to be very addictive for people. In fact, there are some recent articles about how the biggest use cases for those bots and chat bots are people are using them as their online therapists. That's their
Yeah,
largest
I
use
read
case
that.
now,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, there's good and bad to it.
Right, but clearly it's addictive, right? And so people are going to use that, and it's going to get connected to buying and purchasing.
Yeah, and if you've used Perplexity lately, Perplexity Pro especially will give you the same experience similar to Google, where it gives you the little cards and you can buy something right directly there online.
Right. I mean, if you think about the experience we've forced people to go through, where I have to know your keywords for your products, and maybe your synonyms pick up what I'm looking for, but I have to know, how your product catalog is structured, basically categories and things, to be able to find what I need for my needs. It's really a bad solution that we've all become accustomed to.
Yep, and how you type it in search is already completely changed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
I have been retrained
That's
this year.
my big podcast moment.
Thanks
Yes.
for that one, Scott.
That was huge.
Oh, yes.
I've been working on that one all day.
All day.
Finally, I got to use it.
So what are you guys looking forward to today at Shoptoberfest?
I mean, other than hanging out with us,
Well, that's the highlight
let's
of
just
the
be
day.
fair. And you already came in. You're on the great Rick Watson's podcast already, Carrie. So that's huge street cred around here.
Yeah.
On Podcast Row.
Well, Rick is fantastic.
He's
and
so smart.
And my favorite thing about coming to these events, because, you know, I've been around for a long time, is I just get to see all my friends. There's so many great people in this industry and really knowledgeable people. And we're going to have a fun time tonight.
Yeah, we sure are. We're going to leave the podcasting booth open
Oh yeah,
for drop-ins.
it's called Buzzed Podcast.
Buzz Podcast.
Buzz
yes.
Podcast. It's a new one out. We're gonna test it tonight. Yeah, Brent. Well, Aysnd. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's
tell us
go.
a- tell
Let's
us-
go. Do the pitch. Come on.
Yeah, give us a shameless plug.
Let's give me the elevator. Sign me up.
Aysnd is spelled A-Y.
Aysnd. Did I say it wrong?
A-Y-S-N-D. No, you said it perfectly.
Okay.
Aysnd is spelled A-Y-S-N-D, and R-Y is about you. That's why we're here. We like to work with purpose-driven merchants, people who care and are trying to make a difference out there. And so thank you again for having us.
Absolutely, yes.
Good. I'm excited. Aren't you excited?
I'm ascending.
I'm ascending, and I did look on your website. I saw that you're relatively new. Okay, you could just feel the freshness. It's just, it's like opening up a new
like Tupperware.
package. Fresh, a little bit.
A little fresh. And I should say, too, you know, we're 100% woman-owned SI.
Yes, I have 2 daughters.
You know,
Yay, women.
so yay.
Fantastic.
We just got our woman-owned business enterprise certification, because
I love
you can't just be a woman and say you have to like prove it.
Fair.
You know,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On all the success. I will now, from the rooftops, be watching, you know, the ascent of Aysnd.
the ascent of ascent.
I can't believe you didn't get there first, Brent. That is classic Brent Peterson right there.
Thank you.
All right, and my arm goes in the picture. Isn't that
Yes,
great for the
that's
YouTube?
good.
The YouTube loves it. All right, thanks for coming by. More from Shoptoberfest when you hear the next episode.
Sponsored by
Sponsored by
Shopware.
Bye-bye.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.